When a Category 4 or 5 hurricane hits the Florida coast, the wind actively tries to rip structures apart. The morning after, the damage becomes painfully obvious. Standard screen enclosures fail under the immense pressure, leaving massive aluminum beams collapsed right into the pool. Yet, right down the street, facing the exact same wind speeds, other homeowners wake up to zero damage. Their enclosures are completely untouched. If you looked at both of these structures on a sunny day right after they were built, they probably looked completely identical. That is because a pool cage's ability to survive a hurricane has absolutely nothing to do with how it looks. The real strength is hidden in the specific engineering choices made beneath the surface. This creates a massive trap. If you compare contractor quotes based only on the final price and a basic sketch, you're flying blind. A true 20-year enclosure relies on 3 distinct pillars of engineering: the skeleton, the connective tissue, and the anchor. We're talking about the aluminum framing, the screws holding it together, and the bolts locking it into your concrete deck. Taking 5 minutes to understand how these mechanics actually work is the only reliable way to protect yourself from thousands of dollars in property damage down the road. Florida's coastal building codes are incredibly strict. The ASCE 722 standards require enclosures to be engineered to withstand 150 to 170 mile-per-hour wind loads. This chart shows how these forces behave. Huge volumes of aerodynamic pressure wrap around the structure. Many builders cut costs using the bare minimum: softer 6663 aluminum with thin 0.04-inch walls. Under peak pressure, that metal twists and gives way. A heavily reinforced cage requires stepping up the metallurgy. Upgrading to 6005 T5 or heavy-duty 6061 T6 aluminum alloys provides significantly higher yield strength, along with much thicker extrusion walls. Here you can see these robust geometries mapped out. These stronger structural metals are what allow builders to create massive, open clear spans that preserve your view without sacrificing the integrity of the frame. Structural-grade aluminum does require a larger initial investment, but it guarantees your skeleton will hold its ground against extreme gusts. But an ironclad skeleton is useless if the joints fail. Forensic engineers examining hurricane wreckage consistently find that failures often begin when the connection joints give way. Instead, the enclosure collapses because the screws shear off. The industry standard is to drill cheap, zinc-plated steel screws straight into the aluminum framing. When coastal saltwater hits these metals, it creates a battery. Galvanic corrosion kicks in, and the zinc coating dissolves. Once the steel core is exposed, it rusts and expands. The swelling metal pushes outward, cracking the aluminum and destroying the joint's strength. The permanent fix is absolute dielectric insulation. High-end engineers use Nylotech glass-reinforced fasteners or 300 series stainless steel to physically isolate the metals and block the reaction entirely. Committing a bit more of your budget to these specialized insulated screws completely eliminates the primary trigger for sudden structural collapse. Everything we have covered so far means nothing if the entire structure rips cleanly out of the concrete. This diagram compares anchoring methods. On the left, mechanical wedge anchors rely on friction. Expanding the metal creates massive internal stress that can shatter your pool deck. On the right, chemical epoxy anchors use a liquid resin that flows into every microscopic pore. As it cures, that resin physically fuses the steel rod directly to the concrete. It provides incredible hold strength with zero internal expansion pressure. Chemical anchors require significantly more contractor skill and precise curing times, but the payoff is that your pool cage ceases to be a bolted-on accessory. It becomes a unified, monolithic extension of your foundation. Finally, we have to look at the most exposed layer of your defense, the screen mesh itself. Standard fiberglass mesh looks fine initially, but intense UV light bakes the material. As illustrated, it loses structural integrity and becomes brittle in years. The modern alternative is extrusion-coated polyester mesh, or superscreen, boasting a 190-pound burst strength. That heavy-duty polyester core is naturally elastic. It can absorb massive blunt impacts from flying debris or heavy branches, stretch momentarily, and return to its shape without tearing. Upgrading your mesh is a premium choice, but with a functional lifespan extending past 15 years, it completely breaks the expensive, frustrating cycle of constant rescreening. You don't have to get a degree in structural engineering to protect your home. You just have to carefully vet the company doing the installation. many standard contractors look good on paper, but when the storm clears, their clients are the ones left scrambling to pay for costly repairs. That is where Screen Factory Florida separates itself. With a proven 4.8-star reputation and full BBB accreditation, their build quality is an open book. When you hire SFF, you aren't fighting for upgrades. The heavy 6005 T5 aluminum, the Nylotech insulators, and the chemical anchors are included as standard, non-negotiable features on every build. Building to this level of exactness does require a higher upfront investment compared to the fly-by-night contractors out there, but the long-term financial payoff is massive. When a storm makes landfall, your property stands firm. You deserve to enjoy your outdoor space without the looming anxiety of hurricane season hanging over your head. Click the link in the description to secure a true structural diagnosis and a free measurement from Screen Factory Florida today.